Hello, my friends. It's Sheree. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm here to start a new journal or glue book. And so this is the next one I'm going to do. It's this bird book cover. I have used all of the pages out of here. And so I am just getting started on this. So I thought I'd, invite you into my craft room today. So I'm just going to get right down to it. So let's do it. I hope you are crafting with me or doing something pleasant while you are watching my video, but yeah, I'm just going to make a new spine here today and see what we can get done on this cover. The last glue book I did, in case you haven't seen it, I've already done the flip through. If you're new to my channel, I had done a video a few weeks ago, or maybe even a month or so ago, where I showed you 3 book covers and something else. What was it? Anyway, oh, it was the strawberry fabric. And I said I was going to make 2 more strawberry journals and do some glue books with the book covers. And I have a pile in my, this is quite like fabric here. I almost need my fabric scissors to cut this. Yeah, this is an old book. I don't have the copyright anymore. Copyright page. Like I said, I used every single page from this book. Let me grab these scissors. They're a little sharper. They're smaller, but they're very sharp. And I can get this extra off of here. Extra fabric and whatever. Let me try this side. I can really see it from this side. But yeah, I had those things, and I've already done the strawberry journals, and there is one strawberry journal in my shop, which will be linked below. I tried it. It's always with the in the Connect with Me section under my videos, but I'll try to put it near the top so you don't have to look for it. But yeah, that strawberry journal, one of the strawberry journals is left, and the glue book that I just finished is in there, so it's ready to go. And I'm doing 2-inch spines on these with 3 signatures. I have done bigger glue books in the past, but I have a small glue book actually that I just made out of a altered book. And I don't know if you've never done a journal or a glue book before. It's kind of like you add a lot of stuff to it, of course, but it's kind of like you want to do a lot in it. But at a certain point, I think you want to start something new. You don't. It's kind of like you don't want it to last forever. Does that make sense? I hope so. Like you want to do one and then be done and do another one. So, and plus, well, like I did, the ones I did quite a few years ago now were I think 3-inch spines and 5 signatures. And that was just, they were really nice, but to, just sewing, and I had done like 4 or 5 or 6 at one time, and I was just like, I'm never doing that many at one time again with 5 signatures, because I kind of kept them all at the same stage. So when it was time to sew in the signatures, I had like that many, whatever it was, say 6 books to sew in 5 signatures each, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. I never did. But I did one more 5 signature journal, which was I think it was a cookbook journal I did one time. And while it turned out beautiful, after that I was like, I'm never doing a 5 signature journal again. It's just, it's very challenging to get all the those signatures lined up right. So now I do 3 signatures. And I do smaller spines for, spines that will fit, what I think fit 3 signatures perfectly. 2 inches or 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch is my normal. But let me see if these are ready to go. I don't remember. I mean, this doesn't look dirty, but I could wipe it down a little just to make sure. So let me do that, and we'll go from there. But yeah, 1.5 inches is my favorite because it fits 3 signatures perfectly. And then I'm just making these a little bit bigger with the 2-inch spine just for the heck of it, for gluing purposes, I guess. And just, you know, a lot of people make glue books with bigger spines, so I just make this a little bit bigger than my normal, and I think that's good. But yeah, this is a really pretty with the birds and the colors here. It looks like a parrot here, and this is a little bird that's all black. Birds of the world. So, let's see, and then the back cover. I don't think is any dirt coming off of here? I don't think it is, but at least we know it's clean, right? Even if we don't get any dirt off of here. We've done it, we've cleaned it and made it as clean as we can get it. It's a golden book. What does it say? Golden Craft Library binding, it says on the back here. No barcode, of course, because it's an older book. And here's a little, somebody wrote their name, and Colonia School Library is where it's from, wherever that is, I'm not sure. I got it here in North Carolina at a thrift store. So maybe that's in North Carolina, but I don't know. I find books from all over the United States in North Carolina. So, all right, so we're done cleaning. Let's measure our new spine. So I've got some chipboard here. Let's see, it's going to be this way. And so let me go ahead and measure 2 inches and mark that off. And so we'll do that. So we know where to cut. And let me go ahead and cut that. I have my paper cutter right here. I think you can probably see it, but I'm just cutting. No big deal. I have all my favorite Amazon affiliates listed under my favorite supplies, I should say, listed underneath my video in the description box of my, you know, they're my Amazon affiliate links, and they don't cost you any more if you click on those, if there's something you're interested in. And even anything you purchase, even if you don't purchase the thing that you clicked on, anything you purchase for the next 24 hours, once you enter through that link, helps me. So that's pretty cool, right? So yeah, it could be anything. But I really appreciate if you use those links. And if you don't, that's fine. But I just thought, you know, I thought it would be cool. Good way to support someone's channel. There's a little extra piece there. So I think this is going to be the perfect length as far as top to bottom there. I'll show you the paper. I've even already pulled out some papers for like the signature covers, and I pulled out paper for the inside here. So, and I've got some fabric there. Maybe you saw it. Really, really pretty. So we're going to get this situated. I'm going to need my paper cutter again, so I'm going to leave it right there beside me. And the thing about this is to make sure you've got your covers going in the right direction before you put everything together. All right. And you have a little section in case you're brand new to making journals. You have a little space here. It's no certain like amount of space. It's just a little space, just like any book has, where you see the covers bend. There's a little space there where they can bend, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put some tape. I use this duct tape. It's DUCK tape. I get it at Walmart. So you can use whatever. They have a lot of different colors if you've never seen it. It's in the craft aisle. And they have a lot of different colors. So you can get any color you want. If you want a colorful one, you could get a colorful one. And just use this. You don't even have to use anything over it. But I've always just used a white or a neutral. And always covered it up. You know what I mean? Okay. Let me get this side, the front cover, done first. It's situated here. Okay, there we go. Okay. I don't want the tape to go over too much this way, because I'm going to be covering it up, and I just want it to attach, you know, the new spine, but I don't want to have it way over where I have to put too much fabric on there. So I'm going to just put this down here, like this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right down here. I'm leaving a little bit of extra here at the bottom. So, and I'll show you why in just a second. I want to wrap it around a little bit, so I'm going to press this down so it's on my chipboard. It's not going to, my chipboard's not going to fall off or anything because I didn't press it down or burnish it. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. I'm just going to fold it over a little bit there. Okay, there's a little bit sticking up here. I'll fold that over too. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach the back cover. So make our little space. And then another piece of tape. I think this is going to be really pretty. The other one's really cool too. So, yeah. And it includes a beaded tassel on it. So that's really cool. I've never put a tassel on my glue books before, so that was fun. And all the papers, even the scrapbook papers I'm using, are papers you can glue on. So I'm not putting anything in here that I'm trying not to anyway. I don't think there's anything in here that you wouldn't want to glue over. Of course, if there is something, you don't have to glue over it, but I'm trying to put papers in like as if I were gluing in it papers I wouldn't mind covering up, because there's papers when, there's beautiful papers and I'm like, no, I'm not covering that up. It's too pretty type of thing. So, and even the inside here, I'm putting papers here. I did it on the last glue book too. Even the papers here you can glue on, you know what I mean, on the covers. So it's all gluable. And of course you can use it for any it's kind of a generic journal, the glue books. So you can use it for any theme. You can convert it to a travel journal. You can convert it to a junk journal, a scrapbook, a smash book, whatever you want to call it, a memory book. So, glue books are just really generic, kind of blank junk journals. If in case you didn't know that, maybe you did. So, but in case you didn't know. Okay, so we've got that spine on there. So it's just a matter of, I put the tape, I always put the tape on both sides. I know when I was doing the last glue book, I was like, I wonder if I really need tape on both sides. But I think I do. I think it makes a nice solid surface here and, kind of smooths everything out. So, and of course it holds everything together. So I don't think you can go wrong with that. And I like using this because it's very sticky and I don't have to use a bunch of glue here, which is, can get a little messy and I don't have to wait for it to dry or anything. So it's all good. And so let's wrap that around. And we've got this here. Okay, and then, so I wrapped it around there. I don't want to make anything bulky, so I'm not going to put wrap around again down here. If I wrapped around again, it would be up here. So actually make sure I don't wrap around. I'm going to start here this time and not go over it. I want to cover up see how far I went over here. I'm not going to cover up any more than that. So about right there. Okay. And then up here, I'll just go a little bit up above, and I'll wrap a little bit here. Not very much at all. It's probably like half an inch or less, in case you're wondering how much I'm wrapping over. Half an inch or less. You can even do 1/4 of an inch, whatever you think will wrap around. Okay, so we're done with the tape now. See, it doesn't take very much. That tape lasts me a long time because there's a lot of tape on those rolls. They're like $3.50 or something like that at Walmart. So not too expensive, and like I said, they last me kind of for years. I have 2 white ones right now, and I don't feel like I need any more for a good while. So there we go. That is beautiful. So I always like to put my fabric on top of my paper on the inside covers. I don't know. I've seen some people where they'll put the paper on top of the fabric, but I just like the look of covering that edge of the paper. So I think I feel like it gives it a really finished look. I don't know. I mean, you could always do it the other way and then use trim too, but in case I don't want to use trim, I'm going to do it like this. And then I'll decide if I need trim or want trim or whatever. I always save my strips. So let's cut, I never cut, you would think these would be the same sizes, but one time I think I cut both of them at one time and they weren't the same size. So I always cut these separate. So let's see how wide this is. Let me get my ruler again. I kind of want to see a little bit about it. I don't measure too much, but yeah, see my fabric's going to go all the way over to here, covering this tape. So I really only have to have my paper coming over to like the 6-inch mark here. So that is perfect because, let me do this side and see how far it goes over here. Yeah, what I can do, this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. This pattern can go any which way except for this way. See the little designs here? They're narrower this way. If I could put it this way, then they're horizontal and they're a little wider. I think I like it this way. So what I'm going to do is just cut this right in half. This is double-sided, but this orangey side was too perfect, so I have to use it. And my thought on that is I'm using it. You know what I mean? It's not sitting in my closet anymore. So whether it's double-sided or single-sided, I'm using it, and that's really important to me at this moment in my life. I just want to use some of my stuff, you know what I mean? So there we go. We're going to cut that to fit right inside the cover. So let's do that. We're going to go ahead and cut this. I'm not going to waste any time hesitating about anything because that way we can get more done. And I really like the shading on this. It has little splotches and shading here along the edges. So that's going to go there. And then let's measure this one. And so we got, I'm just measuring with my fingers here, marking like with my finger or my thumb where I'm going to cut. So about right way down here, but leaving the edge, just like a regular book, like the book is now, where the paper, see where the paper starts and stops and leaves a little orange edge here. I'm doing it just like that. I think it makes it look like, you know, a real book, you know, like it was always there. The paper, when you put the paper like that, like it was originally in the original book, or the original cover. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down with, I think I'm going to use it's just paper on paper really, so you can use whatever glue you like, but I'm using my art glitter glue today, I think, if it flows. You know how it is, it's a little temperamental. Oh, it's coming out nice, look at that. It wants to get done. It wants to get this book cover done too. So awesome. Thank you very much for cooperating there. Sometimes that doesn't happen, right? Let's get the edges real good here. And we'll get it all glued down and nice and secure. There we go. That looks good. Like I said, nice and secure. So a little bit extra here and there. We're good to go. Okay, yay. Okay, that looks beautiful. Okay. You know, I've said this before, but I know sometimes maybe someone didn't hear it. So I kind of have been just using my fingers lately for this, or if you have something really smooth without any sharp edges, like a roller, a brayer, to burnish your paper, because if you use anything sharp, you could damage your paper. And I don't think I've actually damaged anything, but I could see where it was almost going to damage something one time when I was using a sharp edge on some paper, and I was like, oh goodness, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to damage something after I worked so hard on it, you know. So from then on, I kind of just always use something smooth, like my hand. So let's put lots of glue on this side, and I'm going to make sure I get the edges real nice. I mean, glue is everywhere, but I just want the edges to be nice and solidly, securely flat, and no like Nothing coming up anywhere. So that is the next one. And we are ready for our fabric. Let me just push this down a little bit here and there. And I'll show you my fabric. And I'll try to, sometimes I say I'll show you something before I go, and sometimes I forget, so, because it's like toward the end of the video and I have to say goodbye, but I'll try to remember to show you my paper if we don't get to it today. So I didn't measure this, but I knew it was a good size piece here. Isn't it beautiful? Gorgeous. And so I'm going to look at this real quick. Let's see, I need it to go about out to here, and my tape goes right to there, so I can, that'll be good for the top. Let me see if that's good for the bottom too. You would think it would be the same, but I just want to make sure, right? Okay, yeah, it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead. This is pretty much a, well, it looks like it's longer this way, so I'm going to go ahead and cut here. And then I always tear it. So there we go. It's a nice cottony fabric. I think I found just that piece at a thrift store, you know what I mean? So that's all I have of that. Okay, let me cut a couple strings off here and we'll get this going. And I usually try to do the front outside part first. So I get that, that's the most important part to me. So I try to do that first and then go from there. So let's see. And when I fold it over, let's see, I will fold it over at the top. And if I have, like, I just leave a little bit down here, like 1 inch to fold in, you know, in the inside. So I don't have it meet, I like it to meet down here at the bottom. So you really don't notice it, you know what I mean? Like we'll put it on the outside, it'll come up here and I'll glue it down there. And then I'll bring this down and glue it down here. So it meets right down here at the bottom. You don't have anything in the middle that, you know, you might, I don't know, I don't really even notice it down here after I'm done. Like I could bring it right, this piece I can bring right down to the bottom. So, but if you don't, say you don't have enough to go that far, you just have to stop there, you wouldn't, I don't think you would notice it as much as if it were up here and it met up here in the middle, or even at the top, if you wrapped it at the top and you had, you know, a little piece where you had to just go to 1 inch below the top. You might notice it more because it's at the top. I just feel like at the bottom you wouldn't notice it as much. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. That's what I feel like anyway. So we are going to do it like this because this is I'm going to be cutting this part off. This ended up being a little wider here at the bottom for some reason. So I'm just going to go with it and then cut whatever is extra off this part when I wrap it inside, and I'm going to wrap it around. So let's go ahead. When I do the fabric, I always use, because it is fabric, I use some Fabri-Tac. And you probably can use art glitter glue, and I know people do it, so, but I'm just, you know, I feel safer with fabric because it is for fabric. And so I'll show you what I do. I just put some glue on here all over the spine like this. And get it all over, edge to edge. I'm just doing it on the tape here. And then make sure you have enough to have a solid bunch of glue to hold down your fabric. But then, let's see, can you see through this fabric? I usually do this earlier. If you can see it through it, you can barely see through it, but I'm still going to go ahead and smooth this out a little bit. So in case any lines try to show through or any glue tries to show through as far as like globs or whatever, I won't have any globs. It's smoothed out. So an inch below the bottom, and there we go. And I just want to be careful I don't put it too far over on the birds here. So I'm just trying to go over the edge of my tape on this front cover here. It can go as far as it wants in the back. I don't really mind if it goes far, you know, farther over in the back. It's not covering up anything. except for plain orange back book cover. Okay, so I'm going to push it into the grooves. Here, I'm just going to use these scissors. They're a little bit sharper than those. These have like a rounded edge on the bottom, so I'm gonna, so it won't like cut into my fabric or anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to poke a hole through my fabric or anything. Like I said, this is all I have of this, so if I were to damage it, that wouldn't be good. I have that piece, but still, I don't want to damage anything here. So there we go. Now I usually try to leave it like that until it, you know, starts drying. And there's some like, you know, threads here. I'll cut those off later, and I will go back in case we don't have time. I'll go back and put some glue on the edge. See here, I need glue right here. This is over the tape, and I only put glue on the tape. So I'll go back, cut these strings off, and put more glue under there. But for the moment, I'm trying to think if I want to go ahead and, I think I'll go ahead and do this because my time is going to get short here. But we'll go ahead and do this, and then I'll work on that. I don't think it matters one way or the other, but I just want you to see how this is going to shape up here. So I put glue right down here on the bottom and glue this little piece up. Again, smoothing out my glue. And I can see where the fabric is here, so I put it right out to the edge. So I can go ahead and get this piece glued down. And also push it into the grooves. The little spaces we made, you know. Okay. Make that nice and tight and smooth and even. Okay, now we put glue here. And another good thing about working with fabric tack on this type of project where you're putting glue down and you're smoothing it out, it dries fast, but not quite as fast as art glitter glue. So you have a minute, or you have a few seconds, at least 30 seconds, I would say, to get your glue down, or maybe a minute from start to finish of putting your glue down, to get your glue down and then smooth it out. So that looks like, I don't know if you can see all the glue on there, but that looks like plenty of glue. So let's smooth that out. Okay, bring this down. Like I said, I'm bringing it right down to the bottom. I'm pulling it tight so it doesn't have any kind of, anything wrinkled or like that, but I'm not stretching it or anything. I'm just tight, taut, I would just say. Not stretching it, nice and flat. Burnish it down as much as you can and push it into the grooves. So right here. I just don't want it, you want it to be, as much as possible, to be held down into the grooves and get some of that, grab some of that glue, because if it's loose there, you could have like a little pucker. It could pucker out instead of being flat. And really, we just want it flat. It doesn't have to be a groove there, but we just don't want it to pucker. So, you know what I mean. So now that I've got glue all over my fingers, let's see how I want to cut this. I think I will cut it from this side. And a lot of times I like to use my pinking shears here, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to go grab those. It makes a nice cut. I think it looks good, and it keeps it from fraying there in case, it's going to be glued down, but so I'm going to try to get right up against the book here. Hopefully I'm still in the frame, am I? Yeah. I'm going to cut right there. If you hear drilling, my son's working outside, doing a little project on the outside of our house right this moment. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to get those edges glued down. I'll check these, cut off the strings, but that is pretty, isn't it? See how it's going to look? I need to let it dry a little bit more, but isn't that pretty? And then here's the outside. And isn't that a beautiful, beautiful spine with those birds. So yeah, we'll work some more on that, and I'll try to work on it together with you. But let me show you the papers real quick, and then I got to go because my time is up. But here's the other papers I pulled out for like signature covers. There's greens. Let me show you the other side of it real quick. Greens, yellows, and yellow here. There's a little pink in there, but I didn't pull out any pink yet. And oh, you know what? I think he's got pink on his. I was saying he's all black, but he's got a little pink there on his. But anyway, green, yellow, and yeah. So and then there's blue in this. But I just thought that looked so pretty with the outside there, and this fabric brings it all together and adds a different color, the blue. So really pretty. Anyway, I've got this one, which is green, this one, which is orange. So we got the green and orange. This one I was contemplating for the inside of the covers, but it didn't have enough orange in it. It's a little more red, but I still could use it inside if I want to. And then I've got this green here. It has like a stripy effect to it, but it's got that shading on and perfect for gluing on. And then this pretty yellow one here too. So I'm thinking I'm going to use all of those inside hopefully. And then other papers that are fun to glue on, like map pages and dictionary pages and things like that. So anyway, I'll see you in my next video, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I'll see you then. Have a great day.